This man today doesn't have anything to eat or drink. Lost, confused, and not knowing what he should do next, he walks slowly through the neighborhood. He looks around, wondering how he will survive even one more day. As he is sitting there, thinking about his empty stomach and his painful situation, he suddenly sees a group of guys fighting in the neighborhood. They circle around two men who are beating each other with powerful punches, and many people stand around watching with excitement. As he watches carefully, he notices something that shocks him. The people watching the fight are placing bets, huge bets. He hears numbers so big they almost don't feel real. Enormous amounts of money are being thrown into the fight. Seeing this, he becomes shocked beyond words. Curious and desperate, he walks closer to them. He goes up to the men controlling the fight and asks them directly what someone needs to join a fight and become one of the fighters. They tell him that all he needs is to give his consent, his agreement, and if he wins the fight, he will walk away with a lot of money. The man has no money at all. Not even a single dollar. This pushes him into making a sudden, risky decision. He decides he has no other choice but to step into the fight. But what the movie shows us next is something he never expected, something he never even imagined. And everything begins to change from this moment. Welcome back to Movie Unlimited. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me.
Come on, man, you ain't gonna do shit.
The movie begins by showing us a young soldier named Lion, a brave 25-year-old man. Lion is a soldier serving in the French Foreign Legion. The movie shows us that his country is France, and he has been in the army for 10 long years. Right now, he is stationed in Djibouti, Africa. He has been sent there to represent his country and complete his service. Many other soldiers are also there with him. They all share the same mission, the same duty, and the same strict lifestyle. In the camp, the training is extremely hard. The soldiers go through intense, high-level drills every single day. They are trained to be strong, disciplined, and ready for anything. One morning, while Lion is doing his daily duties, he receives a letter, one that changes everything. It is a sad, heartbreaking letter. The one who wrote it is his brother's wife. The words hit him like a heavy stone. His brother has been attacked and beaten badly by gangsters. He is now in a coma. Lion is shocked beyond measure. His hands tremble as he reads the letter again and again. His heart feels heavy. His brother is the only close family he has left in the world. The thought of losing him crushes Lion completely. Without wasting a single second, he goes straight to his higher-ups. He explains that his brother is seriously sick, lying in a coma, and may not survive. He tells them the doctor said he might die soon. Lion begs them to allow him to leave and see his brother before it is too late. He stands in front of the commanders and generals, pleading for permission to go. But shockingly, they refuse him. They tell him he cannot leave at this time. Lion still has 1 full year of military service left. Without completing it, he is not allowed to go anywhere. Even if they tried to let him go, they say they would be punished by the higher-ups. They would lose their ranks, and Lion would also be punished. His pay would be cut, and he would face serious consequences. But Lion doesn't care about any of that. Money or punishment means nothing to him. All he wants is the chance to see his brother while he is still alive, just one last time. Lion tells them that even if they don't allow him to go, they won't be able to stop him. He says that he will see his brother no matter what. But shockingly, none of the commanders listen. They don't try to understand him or help him. Instead, they get angry at him for arguing with them. They become furious at how he dares to talk back instead of simply following orders. They immediately tell him to leave the office and return to his work. Their rejection crushes Lion. He walks out heartbroken. The managers he trusted, the ones he believed would understand his pain, do not care at all. Lion refuses to give up. When the camp becomes quiet, he secretly takes one of the military cars and escapes. The commanders discover his escape. They explode with anger. They immediately send 5 officers to search the desert and bring Lion back. But the desert is huge, empty, and impossible to cover fully. The officers search all day under the burning sun, but they cannot find him. They return at night and report that they failed to locate him. Lion, being smart and determined, had already moved far away from the desert. He travels until he reaches the ocean. There he finds a large cargo ship. Its destination is America. It is transporting cars and heavy equipment. Lion hides inside the ship where no one can see him. No one notices him at all. Days pass as the ship moves across the sea. Meanwhile, the officers return to the commanders with nothing but bad news. They cannot find him anywhere. The commanders become even angrier. They say they will locate Lion no matter where he goes. They believe he could not go far because a ship from Africa usually stops in Europe. So they travel to Europe, searching for him in different cities, including Paris. But Lion, in an unexpected twist, isn't in Europe at all. He goes straight to America. Even though the commanders search everywhere and even place a bounty on him, offering money to anyone who finds him, they still cannot catch him. They hang posters all over cities, hoping someone will report him. Then one of the commanders sees another letter, one addressed to Lion. He discovers that it came from Los Angeles, America. It is from Lion's brother's wife. It clearly states her address and all the information. Now the commanders know exactly where he might be heading. They immediately send 2 highly trained soldiers to Los Angeles to capture him. These 2 soldiers are strong, strict, and feared by everyone. They are Lion's higher-up managers. While all of this is happening, Lion finally reaches America. After a long, tiring journey, the ship arrives near New York. Realizing he is finally on the right continent, he waits for the perfect moment. Then he jumps off the ship and into the water. He swims and finally reaches land, New York land. And now, finally, after days of hiding and traveling alone, Lion is able to get in contact with society. The sheer joy of seeing people again after such a long time fills him with relief and excitement. He walks carefully through the streets of the city, observing everything around him. But as he moves, it becomes painfully clear that he doesn't know anyone in this strange place. He also realizes he doesn't have a single penny in his pocket. Hunger gnaws at him, and he feels the cold biting through his clothes. His stomach growls as he worries about what he should do next. On top of that, he notices his tattered clothes are not suitable for the chilly air. He wonders how he will survive the harsh streets without food or proper clothing. As he wanders, still lost in thought, he notices a growing crowd ahead. People are forming a circle and shouting, trying to see what is happening in the center. Curiosity takes over, and without hesitation, he walks closer. What he sees shocks him. 2 men are fighting in the middle of the circle, exchanging brutal blows. The air is tense with excitement as spectators cheer and shout. These fights, he quickly realizes, are illegal and hidden from the police. Those who participate are risking their lives, and the stakes are dangerously high. The winner receives a lot of money, while the loser is left to face injuries or worse, often without anyone to care. Lion watches for a moment, his mind racing. Hunger, desperation, and the thought of money all mixed together. He imagines what winning a fight could mean: money to eat, money to survive, and perhaps even a way to help his brother's family. The idea excites him, and slowly a determined look forms on his face. He decides to take the risk. This is a chance he cannot let slip away. With confidence, he approaches the organizers and announces his intention to fight. The man who runs these matches is named Joshua. Joshua, a sharp-eyed man who has seen many fighters come and go, is taken aback. He doesn't usually see people so willing to fight, especially not someone so young and unknown. Joshua approaches Lion, asking him if he has any experience, and why he would risk his life like this. Lion calmly explains that he has no money, that he is hungry, and that he needs to fight. He also promises that he can handle it and that he will win. Hearing this, Joshua is amazed. He can't hide his excitement and admiration. He exclaims loudly, drawing the attention of the crowd, "A man like this still exists." His eyes sparkle as he tells Lion that from now on, he will be called Lion, because his courage and strength remind him of a lion's bravery. From that moment, Leon is no longer just a soldier or a man in need. He has become Lion, a fighter destined for greatness. The crowd watches with curiosity. At first, Northwest One wants to place bets on Lion because he is new and unknown. They are familiar with his opponent and believe he will easily win. The atmosphere is filled with laughter, confident shouts, and cheers for the other men. But as the fight begins, everything changes in a heartbeat. In less than 2 minutes, Lion's skill and power become terrifyingly clear. With incredible speed and precision, he throws punches and kicks that land perfectly, making his opponent bleed. The crowd watches in shock. Even Joshua, who has seen countless fighters, can hardly believe what he is witnessing. People who bet against Lion start to regret their choices instantly. They see that this new fighter, unknown to them, has extraordinary talent. In less than 5 minutes, Lion wins the match. The crowd erupts in applause, and Joshua jumps with excitement, thrilled at the new talent he has discovered. After collecting the money he has earned, Lion's first thought is survival. He heads straight to find food, ordering a hearty meal to satisfy his long-standing hunger. As he eats, Joshua sits beside him and begins to share his ideas. Joshua praises Lion for his remarkable strength and incredible fighting skills. He explains that he can arrange many more matches for him, where Lion will meet wealthy spectators who bet millions of dollars. Joshua tells Lion to just trust him and follow his lead, promising a future filled with money and opportunities. Lion, needing money desperately and realizing the chance before him, agrees to Joshua's plan. Meanwhile, the movie takes us to Veronica, the wife of Lion's brother. She is the one who had sent the letter that led Lion to this city. Veronica is at the hospital, sitting beside her husband's bed, caring for him with a heavy heart. That morning, she received devastating news: her husband had died. Years ago, he had worked with gangsters, transporting drugs and weapons, but they no longer wanted him alive. The gangsters burned him alive, leaving him at the hospital, where he eventually passed away. Veronica is left heartbroken, and her young daughter, Grace, a 5-year-old girl, is crushed by the loss of her father. Veronica is also deeply frustrated and angry that Lion never came to see her husband, despite her repeated letters. On the other hand, Lion is in New York, focused on earning money. He has already agreed to Joshua's plan to fight in matches that will allow him to gather the money he needs to help his family. Joshua then takes Lion to a luxurious house. Here, he introduces him to Cynthia, a wealthy woman who secretly organizes underground fighting matches in her mansion. Cynthia is no ordinary person. She is a billionaire who, along with her husband, manages these secret events. Only the city's wealthiest attend these matches, betting enormous sums of money, sometimes in the billions, on the outcomes. The winner walks away with massive prizes, while the loser's fate is ignored entirely. Cynthia sees Lion for the first time and is immediately impressed. She can tell by looking at him that he is strong and skilled. She smiles and praises Joshua for bringing such a promising fighter. To show her appreciation, she hands Joshua some money. Then, she turns to Lion and tells him that he will fight that very night. She explains that this fight will be a test to see if he is worthy. If he loses, he will not be able to work with her. Lion, understanding the stakes, agrees. He doesn't hesitate or second-guess himself. Immediately, he is sent to the stage, the ring, where the fight will take place. The anticipation builds as the crowd waits. The bets are placed, the spectators cheer, and everyone is eager to see who will win. Lion stands ready, calm and focused, knowing that this is just the beginning of a journey that will take him from the streets of New York to unimaginable challenges and opportunities. Everyone had gathered around the fight, placing their bets with excitement and confidence. They placed all of their money against Leon, assuming his opponent would easily win. Many of them didn't even consider betting on him. Just by looking at his body, they thought he wasn't strong enough to win. They underestimated his skills completely. Cynthia, watching the crowd and the fighters, gave the signal for the fight to begin. But shockingly, before even a second had passed, Lion struck. With a single, powerful punch, he knocked out his opponent. The men didn't get up. The crowd watched in stunned silence, waiting for the fight to continue, but it never did. Everyone was shocked to see Leon win so quickly and decisively. The energy of the room changed instantly as they realized that they had underestimated him. As the crowd absorbed what happened, they admitted that they had been wrong. Now, seeing Lion's incredible strength and talent, they all agreed that from this moment on, they would place their bets on him. The fear and doubt they had about him vanished. Cynthia, who had been observing everything carefully, was impressed. She saw Lion's raw power and skill and knew that he had the potential to be more than just a fighter. He could be a star in her organization. She explained to him that she wanted to work with him and that together, they could make a lot of money. She promised him support, guidance, and opportunities to fight in bigger matches. But Lion had a purpose beyond wealth. Calmly, he told Cynthia that he only wanted the money he had earned from this fight. He explained that he had to go to Los Angeles, that he had urgent matters to attend to there, and that he couldn't stay in New York. Cynthia, seeing his determination, tried to convince him to stay by offering him unimaginable riches. She told him she could give him as much money as he wanted, buy him a house, a car, even millions of dollars. But Lion refused her offer. His mind was focused on his brother, who was in the hospital, and nothing could sway him. Respecting his decision but frustrated, Cynthia let him leave. She gave him a car, but her anger and disappointment were clear. She then turned to Joshua and offered him money as motivation to convince Lion to fight for her. Without hesitation, Joshua accepted her challenge and followed Lion. Joshua trailed behind Lion, trying to persuade him with promises of wealth. He explained that if Lion agreed to fight, he would become rich beyond imagination. But the night was falling, and they were passing through a dangerous part of the city, where bullies often lurk. Seeing the two men speaking about money, the bullies assumed they were wealthy and immediately surrounded them. They demanded that Lion and Joshua hand over everything they had. Joshua froze in shock, unsure of what to do, but Lion didn't hesitate. Calmly and fiercely, he attacked. With precision and strength, he sent every one of the bullies fleeing. Some were left injured with broken bones, and the rest ran away in fear to save their lives. Lion had proven that his strength wasn't just for the ring, it could protect him in the streets as well. After dealing with the bullies, Lion and Joshua found a safe place to stay for the night. They laughed at the events of the evening, bonding over the challenges they had faced. Joshua promised to stick with Lion from now on. Since Lion didn't know the city well, Joshua offered to guide him to Los Angeles, helping him find his brother's wife, Veronica, and ensuring he reached her safely. Joshua convinced Lion to fight for Cynthia along the way, assuring him that they could both become rich. Lion agreed, seeing the opportunity to help himself and others. They set out for Los Angeles without wasting a moment. When Lion finally arrived at the hospital mentioned in Veronica's letter, he received shocking news. His brother was dead. The staff explained that his brother had called out for him before passing, and hearing this filled Lion with unimaginable sorrow and fury. He had come all this way, hoping to see his brother one last time, and now it was too late. Lion demanded to know who had done this to his brother. The doctor explained that gangsters had burned him alive. However, there was a small relief. The gangsters were now in prison, facing justice. Knowing that his brother's killers were being punished brought Lion a sense of calm amidst the anger and grief. He shared the news with Joshua, who offered his condolences, understanding the weight of the loss. After recovering from the shock, Lion got the address of Veronica's home. Joshua had spent the entire day searching for it, and finally, they found her. She was living in a rented apartment with her young daughter, Grace. Lion didn't waste any time and went straight to them, his heart pounding with anticipation. At first, Veronica was furious when she saw him. She confronted Lion angrily, scolding him for never coming to see her husband, even after all her letters. She reminded him of how much her husband had wanted to see him and accused him of being neglectful. Veronica made it clear that she had cut ties with him and told him never to return to their home. Lion tried to explain everything he had gone through to reach her. He told her that he had been a soldier, that he had risked everything to get here. But Veronica refused to listen, consumed by her grief and anger. As Lion listened, he overheard from a neighbor that Veronica was in debt. She hadn't paid a year's rent, and the landlord was about to evict them. Anger and determination surged through Lion. The money he had on hand wasn't enough to cover all the expenses, but he couldn't stand to see them suffer. He noticed that Grace, the young girl, didn't even have the chance to go to school or play properly. Seeing their struggle broke his heart. From that moment, Lion made a decision. He vowed to earn money using his strength and skills, ensuring that Veronica and Grace would never have to worry again. He regretted not being able to reach them sooner and became even more determined to help them. That night, he and Joshua went to a bar to drink and relax. Lion, exhausted from the emotional and physical challenges he had faced, drank deeply, unaware of the events around him. When he woke the next day, he found himself in a luxurious house, filled with expensive and extravagant objects. Everything was lavish, shining with wealth and comfort. To his shock, there was a woman next to him. At first, he didn't recognize her, but as he looked closer, he realized it was Cynthia. Leon then immediately asked her, surprised and curious, "What are you doing here? How did you even come here?" Cynthia, with a confident yet charming smile, explained that she was here for him. From now on, he had to come to New York to fight for her. She told him that she would give him a lot of money and that she had taken a liking to him. She also promised that she would help change his lifestyle for the better. Then, Cynthia shared that she now knew his past, how he had come to be here, and what had brought him to her. She explained that, at this moment, he was technically an immigrant. But if he stayed and worked with her, she would help him live legally in the city, making sure he had the right papers and protection. However, she warned him that if the police ever found him before this was settled, they could send him back to his country. Hearing this, Leon thought carefully. He didn't want to leave the country, and he wanted to help his brother's wife, Veronica, and her child, Grace. Without hesitation, he agreed to Cynthia's proposal. Cynthia, excited that he had agreed, didn't waste any time. She took him to a large mall, one filled with fancy stores and shining displays. They entered a man's clothing store, and Cynthia began buying him suit after suit, picking elegant and expensive options. She bought him many things, each costing a fortune. It was clear she wanted him to agree fully, to trust her, and to fight for her. Leon accepted her help, but he was careful to set his limits. He explained that he would only fight a few matches and then needed a permanent job. Cynthia, on the other hand, was focused on making money fast. She organized a house for him to live in and a place for him to train. The next day, without delay, she took him to New York for his first major fight with her organization. The opponent they arranged for him was a man from England, a true champion in his country. He had defeated many fighters and injured several in the process. He was very large, and his reputation made others hesitant to face him. Even the richest spectators didn't want blood on themselves. Some watched the fight from the comfort of their luxurious cars, observing the action without stepping into the chaos. When the fight began, Leon and his opponent went blow for blow, fighting on equal levels for the first 5 minutes. It was a challenging match. This fighter was strong and experienced, and it quickly became clear that winning wouldn't be easy. But Leon, ever patient and observant, carefully studied his opponent. He noticed a weakness and, with a single, precise strike, disabled him. The crowd watching the fight was stunned. The champion from England, feared by many, had been defeated by Leon. From that day forward, Leon earned the admiration of everyone present. The wealthy spectators and fight enthusiasts all cheered for him, and his fame began spreading across the city. Everyone knew his name, and soon, his reputation as a fighter grew immensely. Leon continued sending money to Veronica. At first, she refused to accept it, still angry and resentful, and wanting nothing to do with him. She had sent him away, telling him never to return and refusing his help. But Leon didn't stop. He knew this was the final thing he could do for his brother, and he was determined to support them no matter what. Eventually, Veronica began to realize the truth. She saw that Leon truly cared about her and Grace. She started to accept his money, using it first to cover the overdue rent. Then, she began buying things they needed. One day, happy and relieved, she bought a bicycle for her daughter, Grace. Despite handling the rent and the child's needs, there were still debts left with neighbors and some local gangsters. On another side of the story, the soldiers who had been sent to capture Leon had finally entered America. They went straight to Veronica's house, waiting for Leon to show up. Weeks passed, but he didn't appear. Leon had left the city after arriving, and his trail had gone cold. The money he sent was held safely in various banks, making it impossible for anyone to track him. The soldiers, confused and frustrated, worried about what they would report to their commanders and higher-ups. Finally, the day came for Leon to attend one of his biggest fights yet. This fight was unlike any he had experienced before. It was going to be held in a swimming pool. Spectators gathered around, eager to watch the unique and intense match. Leon stepped into the water, feeling the unusual environment challenge his usual fighting style. At first, it was hard for him to adapt. The resistance of the water slowed his movements and made it difficult to balance. But as minutes passed, he began to adjust. He learned how to move efficiently, using the water to his advantage. In just a few seconds, Leon found the perfect moment. With one powerful, precise punch, he ended the fight. Once again, he won, earning a large sum of money, which he immediately sent to Veronica to help her and her daughter. Days went by, and Leon continued fighting. With every match, his skills sharpened, his confidence grew, and the money he earned ensured Veronica and Grace could live more comfortably. After numerous matches, he was finally given a short period to rest. Without wasting a moment, Leon went to visit Veronica. From a distance, he saw her taking care of her daughter, Grace. Seeing them together and happy filled him with joy. But before he could relax, the two soldiers sent to capture him spotted him from a distance. They surrounded him, attacking him with force. They beat him badly, causing injuries, but Leon refused to give up. Despite being hurt, he fought back with determination and strength. Finally, he grabbed an object nearby and used it to fend them off. He then ran as fast as he could to safety, heading straight to Cynthia to prepare for his next match. Upon reaching her, he asked her who he would fight next. Cynthia, watching his determination, explained that his next opponent was extremely strong. She warned him carefully that he could never afford to lose this fight. Leon, now more focused and driven than ever, prepared himself for what lay ahead, knowing that this match could change everything for him, Veronica, and Grace. After that, Leon started the match. Today, before beginning, he approached Cynthia and said that he had something important to discuss with her. He explained everything he had encountered until now. He told her that he had been sending all the money he earned to his brother's wife, Veronica, who truly needed it, and that he had not kept any of it for himself. Then, Leon told her something serious. This would be the last fight he would ever take part in. He made it very clear that he hated these fights and did not want to continue working in this dangerous field. He also explained that two soldiers were tracking him, and they could seriously hurt him if they found him. When Cynthia heard this, she was shocked. She suddenly understood how much trouble he was in. The movie then shows that Leon immediately sought out the two soldiers. Using her men, he managed to bring them to Cynthia's office. Once there, she questioned them directly, asking what they wanted from Leon. The soldiers explained that Leon had run away from his duty, refusing to follow orders from his managers and commanders. He had disrespected them and defied authority. They had come to bring him back, explaining that he was going to be punished because he was a soldier who had not completed his service. Cynthia was completely shocked by this revelation. She now realized the depth of the problem Leon faced. Understanding the situation, she told the soldiers that there was one last fight he had to take, and that a lot of money was on the line. She pleaded with them to allow him to stay just until the fight was over. Afterward, they could take him wherever they wanted and do as they pleased. To motivate them, she promised the soldiers that if they allowed Leon to fight, they would be rewarded with a significant amount of money. Hearing this, the soldiers, who valued money above all else, agreed with her proposal. They didn't care whether Leon lived or died, they only cared about getting him alive after the fight. Cynthia nodded in agreement, arranging everything carefully. That day, she organized the fight scene. Wealthy spectators from all over entered the venue, taking their seats and waiting in anticipation. The movie shows that even the two soldiers were present, sitting to watch the match. They knew how skilled Leon was, and they placed their bets on him. However, shocking everyone, the movie shows that Cynthia had placed $4 million on Lion's opponent, not on him. She warned Lion not to lose the fight. Meanwhile, Lion sat down with Joshua to discuss the match. Joshua, seeing the opponent, did not like this fight at all. This wasn't just any fighter. Today, Lion was going to face a killer named Aquila. Joshua explained that Aquila had killed many people and injured more than 50 others. He was relentless, and everyone believed he would easily win the fight. Joshua, worried for Lion, tried to convince him to stop the fight. He reminded Lion that he had already earned a lot of money, which was more than enough. But Lion, resolute and determined, refused to listen. He explained that this was his last fight and that he had to complete it. More importantly, the money he earned would go to Veronica, who needed it desperately. Joshua, despite receiving compensation from previous fights, grew increasingly worried. He asked Lion multiple times to stop, but the movie shows that Lion would not listen. He was determined to fight. The fight began, and Lion entered the ring. His opponent, Aquila, was a terrifying presence. More than 50 wealthy people had placed their bets on him, confident that he would win. The stakes were rising rapidly, with money being placed both in the arena and online as spectators watched the match live. When the fight finally started, Lion immediately began landing blows on Aquila, striking continuously. But to his shock, none of his punches or kicks slowed Aquila down. The opponent simply absorbed the hits, not showing any weakness. Lion tried to use every chance he could find to hurt him, but Aquila remained unshaken. Lion was astonished by the man's strength. Aquila's resilience was unlike anything he had faced before. The spectators who had placed bets on Lion were shocked as well. They watched in disbelief as Aquila seemed to overpower him, making Lion lose his energy and confidence. Meanwhile, Cynthia watched with satisfaction. She had placed $4 million on Aquila, and he was performing exactly as she had hoped. Aquila was the fighter she trusted, the one she had chosen to support. Joshua finally discovered what Cynthia had done. Shocked and angry, he confronted her, asking how she could betray Lion in such a way and place him in this dangerous situation. Cynthia calmly explained that Lion was fighting for the money. She told Joshua that if he thought he could beat Aquila, he was welcome to try, but she made it very clear that Lion would never win. Aquila had never lost a fight before, and she believed he never would. Joshua, stunned by her words, realized he was powerless to change the outcome now. The match continued. Aquila began attacking Lion with full force. Each strike landed painfully. Lion was knocked down multiple times, and blood started to stream from his wounds. He lay on the ground for a moment, looking at Joshua with a mix of anger and desperation. Joshua, seeing Lion in such danger, explained everything. He told him that Cynthia had bet against him, placing all her money on Aquila. The stakes were over $4 million, and the audience was watching closely. Joshua pleaded with Lion to stop the fight, warning him that he could die if he continued. But the movie shows that Lion's anger and determination surged even higher. Ignoring the warnings, he rose to his feet, ready to continue. Despite his injuries and the blood on his body, he refused to give up. Gathering every ounce of strength and courage, he rises from where he had fallen and re-enters the fight with renewed energy and spirit. Without wasting a single moment, Lion launches a series of powerful blows against Aquila. To everyone's shock, he knocks the formidable fighter down with a single punch. Aquila, stunned and worried for his reputation, scrambles to get back on his feet. Cynthia, witnessing this unexpected turn of events, is completely shocked. She realizes that if Lion wins, she will lose all the money she had bet on Aquila. In a desperate attempt, she gives signals to Lion, trying to get him to stop fighting and lose the match. But Lion doesn't pay attention to her gestures. Filled with fearless energy, he rises again, and this time, Aquila falls to the ground from a single, devastating punch from Lion. Despite everyone waiting for him to recover, Aquila cannot regain his strength. The spectators are left in utter disbelief. It becomes as clear as day that Cynthia has lost all her money. Lion steps out of the ring triumphantly, holding the prize money he earned. Everyone who had placed bets on him is overjoyed. Even the soldiers who had been watching the fight are happy, not just because he had trained so well, but because they are witnessing the success of their efforts firsthand. They are ready to bring Lion back to Djibouti, proud of his accomplishment. Cynthia, furious at her loss, is about to leave the scene. Her anger is palpable. It seems she might not organize any more fights ever again. But before she can disappear, the people she had promised to pay surround her. They demand the $4 million she had placed on Aquila. The movie shows that Cynthia has no choice but to hand over the money to them. Meanwhile, the two soldiers are preparing to take Lion back. But he makes one last request. He wants to see Veronica, his brother's wife, in Los Angeles. He also wants to give her the money he earned from the fight. He explains that after he fulfills this wish, they can take him wherever they want. Without wasting any time, they take him to her. Lion says his final goodbyes, sharing heartfelt moments with Veronica. He gives her all the money he has earned and explains exactly how he got it, by fighting and risking his life in every match. He promises that even though he will continue his service far away, she and Grace will always remain his family. He pledges to support them in every way possible, and when his service is complete, he will return to care for them even more. Veronica and Grace are overjoyed. Grace is thrilled to feel like she has found a new family in Lion. She cries, hugging him and begging him not to leave. The two soldiers witness this tender moment and feel a deep sense of sympathy for Lion. Even though they have orders to take him back, they realize that removing him would be cruel. Losing one soldier wouldn't impact their mission, and they allow themselves to make an exception. Everyone else believes Lion is dead. His generals assume that he would not survive beyond the desert, and even if he did, they think he could not cross the ocean. The soldiers decide to tell the general a lie, that Lion has died. This allows him to continue living in peace, blending into life with Veronica and Grace. They advise him to stop fighting and choose a normal life. They warn that if he continues fighting, his fame will grow, and eventually, the generals and commanders will come after him. But if he keeps a low profile, he will be free to live his life. Lion thanks the soldiers sincerely, expressing his gratitude for everything they had done for him. He promises not to put himself in such danger again and vows to respect their wishes. Finally, the movie shows the two soldiers returning to Djibouti. Lion begins living peacefully with Veronica and Grace. They also meet with Joshua, discussing how to start a new business together. With all the money Lion had earned and sent to Veronica safely saved, she returns it to him. She encourages him to start a new life. Together, Lion and Joshua use the money to launch a business and build a future. The movie concludes by showing them living happily, working together, and supporting each other as a makeshift family. Dear viewers, this was the full story of the movie Lionheart. Let us know your thoughts about the movie in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss our movie recaps. Stay safe, enjoy your family, and stay tuned until next time when we bring you another exciting movie recap.